Here is what's coming up in today's Frontline compilation. An observer drone tracks a Russian infantryman moving through open ground. From 800 meters away, a Ukrainian sniper takes aim. The shot lands clean, but what's remarkable is how the footage reveals the precision behind the claim. Two Russians walk a dirt road strewn with their fallen comrades. What they don't know is that a Ukrainian squad waits nearby, weapons ready. The moment they cross the line of sight, the ambush begins. Some Russian units have started using electric scooters to move gear and personnel. One rider pushes forward, unaware of the drone closing in. The result shows exactly why these machines are as dangerous to use as they are silent. Ukrainian armor moves head-on toward Russian tanks at point-blank range. What follows is a chaotic clash of gunfire, smoke, and instinct as both sides fire almost simultaneously. This is real footage. No effects, just raw moments from the battlefield. Subscribe to stay updated on every Frontline report and stick around to see it all unfold. Let's get into it. A Russian-held house vanishes in a single frame. A guided munition plunges from above, striking dead center and triggering stored ammunition inside. Secondary explosions ripple through what's left, sending roofing tiles into the tree line. When the smoke clears, the foundation alone remains. One survivor crawls out from the basement, dazed but alive. Drone footage like this underscores how quickly static positions can turn lethal once detected. Another strike could follow at any second, and it often does. An observation drone tracks a moving Russian through broken ground near Dobropilya. At extreme range, the Black Swan Battalion sniper waits for his chance. The target stops for a second, shifting weight between steps, then drops instantly. The camera feed stays fixed as the dust settles, showing no follow-up shots. Ukrainian sources claim the distance was 800 meters, an impressive mark for combat conditions. Regardless of exact range, the footage shows the kind of accuracy that now defines the Pokrovsk front. Somewhere in the brush, the shooter is already moving. A small Russian element attempts to cross a river under observation. The reconnaissance drone pans across the bank as they edge toward the waterline with makeshift rafts. Before they even begin, a distant artillery gun fires. The shell lands precisely at the crossing point, scattering the group in all directions. One raft is flipped and burned, another thrown onto the far bank. The strike denies the crossing entirely, leaving the survivors exposed and pinned between open ground and rising smoke. More rounds appear inbound as the video cuts. A Russian soldier climbs through a window into a small structure, unaware that he's being followed by a Ukrainian FPV drone. Seconds later, the building erupts, walls folding outward in a single blast. When the dust settles, the soldier stumbles into an attached shed, visibly wounded. A second drone chases him, detonating at the doorframe. The third attack, a mortar drop, ends the sequence. 3 drones for one target shows how determined operators have become to finish the job once they have visual contact. From high altitude, Ukrainian operators watch grenades fall onto a scattered Russian infantry team. Each drop lands with surgical accuracy, throwing dirt and fragments skyward. One soldier absorbs 2 near hits, yet keeps walking, showing either shock or indifference to danger. The footage, shot by the 4th Mechanized Battalion of the Presidential Brigade, demonstrates how refined drone munitions have become. Every correction is made in real time. The feed cuts mid-drop, leaving the viewer uncertain how many remain standing. A Russian BMP 3 speeds along a rural track, its cope cage welded across the roof. Suddenly the forward section erupts in flame. The vehicle has hit a buried mine. Troops spill out, some crawling, others limping around the stricken armor. Within minutes, a Ukrainian drone appears overhead, dropping a small munition through the open hatches. The blast engulfs the crew compartment, sealing the vehicle's fate. Scenes like this highlight how isolation on the battlefield turns every lone machine into an easy mark. The next detonation could be seconds away. A lone Russian soldier stands in open terrain, rifle raised toward an oncoming FPV drone. The footage, recorded by Ukraine's 414th Brigade Wormbusters, shows him squeezing off short bursts as the drone closes. The rounds miss, and the warhead detonates just in front of his face. The explosion lifts dust and debris in a single flash. It's a reminder that downing a fast-moving quad rotor is far harder than online clips suggest. For every soldier who manages a lucky hit, dozens more fail to beat its speed and precision. Helmet cam footage shows two Russian riflemen standing their ground as a Ukrainian bomb drone approaches. Instead of running, they fire controlled bursts at the fast-moving target. One round strikes true, clipping a rotor and sending the drone tumbling to the ground before detonation. The men raise their rifles in triumph, exchanging quick high fives. For once, luck and aim align. But the footage cuts before we see what follows. Whether the disabled drone still held a live charge or if another was already inbound. Two Russian vehicles, a Humvee and a Toyota pickup, sit in a tree line near Evoljanskoye. A pair of FPV drones from the Rubicon unit race toward them. The first slams directly into the Humvee's windshield, detonating inside the cab. When the dust clears, the second drone dives straight into the technical. Both vehicles burn within moments. The clip shows how Russia's drone teams now chain attacks in quick succession to guarantee destruction. In the background, you can see scattered gear and tracks leading deeper into the woods, hinting at a hasty retreat. Thermal footage from Ukraine's E-40 sniper group shows two figures moving through open fields after dark. A single crack of the rifle drops one, followed seconds later by another hit. The estimated range, 1,257 yards, is beyond the limit of most rifles. But the Barrett MRAD can handle it easily. Operators swap calibers in minutes, often between .338 Lapua and .300 Winchester. Two opposing armor columns appear almost side by side. Ukrainian T-64s on the asphalt road, Russian tanks along a parallel dirt track. Both open fire at near point-blank range. The lead Ukrainian tank scores the first hit, its round igniting a Russian vehicle's ammo. Smoke engulfs the scene as dismounts scramble from nearby carriers. The chaotic footage mirrors what likely happened on the ground. Confusion, split-second decisions, and instinct overriding plan. The engagement reportedly occurred near Novoalexandrivka, ending before either side could call reinforcements. A disabled American-made MATV sits exposed on an open road. The crew abandoned it with the doors wide open, leaving the interior visible from above. A Russian fiber-optic drone descends slowly, trailing its guidance line behind. The operator drops the explosive through the doorway, igniting ammunition inside. The resulting fireball engulfs the vehicle, scattering debris across the roadside. It's another example of how even an empty armored truck becomes a target once immobilized. As the smoke drifts away, only the dangling control wire remains. A drone hovers high above a Ukrainian tank, engaging Russian positions. Each main gun round lands closer to target as the drone relays corrections in real time. You can almost see the coordination. The tank fires, the drone adjusts, another hit follows. This combination of ground armor and aerial spotter has redefined range limits for both sides. What used to be guesswork is now a live feedback loop. As the clip fades, the drone tilts toward its next task, already searching for the next set of coordinates. Ukrainian drone footage shows a Russian T-80 tank and a BMP-2 infantry vehicle attempting a counterattack near Storozhev. Both roll forward through churned fields before the lead tank vanishes in a flash. Either a mine or an anti-tank strike. The BMP halts beside it, crew scrambling out as smoke pours from the hatches. Seconds later, a second blast finishes the job. The video ends with Ukrainian troops taking two of the survivors prisoner. The failed maneuver marks how thin Russian coordination had become in western Donetsk by mid-2023. A Ukrainian soldier films the night sky as burning fragments rain down over his position. Dozens of incandescent streaks fall, hissing as they hit. It's a Russian incendiary munition strike, white phosphorus or thermite. Impossible to tell. The soldier's voice stays calm, while the ground flares around him, each impact igniting new patches of fire. The video ends abruptly, leaving only the crackle of burning debris. No coordinates, no unit tags, just raw evidence of how indiscriminate these attacks remain across the front. A Russian soldier rides an electric scooter down a narrow path, unaware he's being tracked. The scooter's small frame limits speed and maneuvering, and the hard surface beneath funnels him into a straight line. A Ukrainian FPV drone screams in from behind, striking squarely between his shoulders. The blast tears apart the lightweight machine. The footage illustrates why these scooters, meant for city streets, have become death traps on the front. Against precision drones, their silence and simplicity offer no defense. Another rider waits somewhere up the same road. On the edge of Donetsk, the Ukrainian 56th Motorized Brigade employs a mix of vintage and modern anti-aircraft guns to hit Russian ground positions. A twin-barreled ZU-23-2 chatters beside the larger S-60 autocannon, each guided by a spotting drone overhead. The old systems still prove deadly. 57mm shells rip through tree cover and fortifications alike. The footage lists the location near Pervomaiska, where Russian troops were attempting to dig in. Even from the sky, the rate of fire looks relentless, and the barrels never seem to cool. Reconnaissance footage from the Lazarus Group tracks a Russian BM-30 Smerch launcher hidden among farm structures in the Kherson region. The operator lines up an FPV drone that races in low, weaving through debris before slamming into the launcher's rear section. The explosion sends tubes and propellant scattering across the field. Coordinates later published match the strike zone exactly. The Smerch, capable of firing 12 300mm rockets at once, is reduced to twisted metal. The feed lingers just long enough to show smoke curling through the destroyed battery. Another launcher waits somewhere beyond frame. A Russian BMP-3 takes a direct hit, its upper deck vanishing in a flash, before the entire vehicle cooks off. Seconds later, a massive secondary blast throws the turret high into the air, landing several meters away. Flames consume the hull, while ammunition continues to pop inside. The drone circles the wreck, capturing the moment in full. BMP-3s store fuel near the crew compartment, making them prone to catastrophic detonations like this. As the feed ends, the field is empty except for the crater and the smoldering shell. A pro-Russian channel claims to show an Iskander missile strike on a Patriot missile system near Zaporizhzhia. The footage displays a bright impact, but no secondary explosions, no ammunition cooking off, no fires spreading. Analysts suggest the target may have been a decoy meant to draw such attacks. Without confirmation, the clip leaves the question open. Was it a successful hit or just bait? As dust settles, the camera pulls back, revealing more empty launch frames. The uncertainty itself becomes part of the information war. A compact Ukrainian ground robot trundles across open terrain, dragging a line of TM-62 anti-tank mines behind it. Controlled remotely, it positions each mine with surprising precision, creating an instant barrier. The operator calls it R2D2 for its dome-shaped head and steady hum. The machine's work demonstrates how automation is spreading beyond the airspace into ground engineering tasks. Within minutes, the area is seeded, and the robot reverses out of frame. The implication is clear. Machines are now doing the slow, dangerous jobs humans once had to. A Russian patrol moves through a tree line when a sudden fuel-based explosion turns daylight orange. The camera, carried by one of the soldiers, jerks sideways as the blast wave knocks the group off their feet. Burning liquid splashes across the clearing, igniting grass and packs alike. The source of the fireball isn't shown, but analysts suggest a hit on a hidden fuel cache. Troops scatter in confusion as secondary pops echo through the woods. The clip cuts mid-panic, leaving only the roar of the inferno. Two Russians walk down a road strewn with their dead comrades, unaware that a Ukrainian squad watches from cover. When they draw within a few meters, rifles flash from the tree line. Both drop before they can react. The ambush unfolds in seconds, leaving silence over the bodies. Drone footage from the 63rd Mechanized Brigade later confirms the scene took place near the Lyman front. It's a textbook example of patience winning over numbers. The cut ends abruptly, suggesting the Ukrainians withdrew before counterfire arrived. 2 Ukrainian soldiers from the 63rd Motorized Brigade advance through dense forest toward a Russian trench. They lob grenades, then rush forward under the echo of their own blasts. The camera follows them as they clear the dugout with short, controlled rifle bursts. Seconds later, 2 Russians crawl out with hands raised, surrendering on the spot. The assault shows how small, disciplined teams can seize a position without heavy support. The clip ends just as the Ukrainians begin checking the trench for more movement. That's today's raw footage. No filters, no fluff. This is M6 Archive, always first on the front lines. Subscribe and share if you want more.